Welcome back to another episode of BarTalk. BarTalk. I am here, your host Abigail, co-host Tracy, also Alana.
I keep finding my way back on this show for some reason.
She's a co-host.
She's trying. She's basically a co-host. And the Mr. Incredible Jared Lawrence.
Jared Lawrence in the house.
Thank you. First time here.
To...
First time here. Oh, I gotta pick the damn
we
thing.
Should have told him. We should have told him how to actually talk about
Yeah.
this.
Like, wait, hold on. Talk real quick.
Whoa, he's a Riley Reid out here.
He's like all the way on the other side of the table.
Pulling a Riley Reid.
All right. Jared came to visit. I don't really know why. No, I do know why, because he loves us so much. But he'll never come and visit again because we've been, well, I think I've been a giant pain in the ass the last day or so. But he came to visit and do one of our Dekas today, and he kicked ass.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And we beat them in Deka teams. Can we just get that out of the way?
Closer. You're going to have to straddle yourself a little closer.
I got you. Up close and personal.
We're like in a really... This is
probably the worst location we could have chosen.
That's okay.
For an episode.
Worse and worse.
Yeah.
Worse and worse.
Wait, I think that's like a TikTok or something.
Oh.
It's getting worse and worse. We're at Alana's house.
Hey,
we got shit
guys.
going on today. So Abigail's gonna ask Jared some questions, but first things first, let's just get this shit out of the way before they argue about it. Jared and I beat Alana and Abigail today in Deka teams.
Can we just preface with the fact
Yes.
that when I'm going to give Jared a brief introduction,
Yes.
Jared is, as he's wildly handsome, old as shit. He's
He looks like John Travolta.
Looks like John Travolta. I don't know. I didn't know who that was.
Jern.
How do you know who? How do you not know who John
Travolta?
Travolta is?
I don't know what's going on with Jared's accent, but I feel like it's fucking with mine.
What did you
Because-
explain?
Yes.
Like banjo
Because-
and what is it? The two
Oh, banjo and cornbread.
banjo and cornbread.
What?
His
That's the
That's
accent.
the accent.
Oh, okay.
His accent is banjo and cornbread.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he also has his own training facility
Mm-hmm.
called
Performance Training Incorporated.
in Knoxville, and there's another location. What was in Knoxville?
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tennessee.
And he also has a pimp ass house, and he also
Hype him up.
and he also does Deka and occasionally a Spartan
And Hyrox.
And
And
Hyrox.
Hyrox.
Yep.
So athlete and boss man and trainer.
Yep.
Thank you. That was
But
a great
I
introduction.
don't know what I was talking about. Oh, so the preface was because is
You're like, I didn't know I was all those
he
things.
won Deka. You won Deka Worlds,
Mhm.
Deka Fit Worlds
Yes.
last
Last year.
October,
Yeah,
November.
last year. Yeah, November, I think.
Okay, so that's who Alana and I were going against.
Yes.
I had nothing to do with this, but I was just a part of the team, so I still win.
That's what happened.
So Tracy likes to
I-
rub now in our faces.
Yeah.
She's like, "I beat you guys." I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
I love you. Jared beat us."
Listen, if you're gonna talk shit and you're
also,
gonna
we
talk
did
mad
good. We
smack,
We lost by like a minute and a half.
Yeah, we did pretty
no,
good.
you didn't.
To 2 minutes.
To 3.
We got
2 to
10:55. We all
maybe
got
five
12 something.
maybe
And
five.
we
21.
meaning us, because my name was on his ticket. So yeah, I beat your
Yeah,
ass.
yeah. Okay, listen. It was like 2.5 minutes maximum.
That's a long time.
It's not that fucking
That's
bad.
actually quite a long time in Deka team.
That's a long,
Yes.
long time.
That is a
Mentally,
long
I
time.
liked it.
But
I liked the time result. It was not bad
we are
for
both
us.
tied on
Yeah.
the world leaderboard, which means
In
we really
rankings.
tied. He has a penis. Don't get me out here right now.
You got a couple
Look, you
bitches
got
over here.
you got a dude world champion man.
Yeah. So what? So
Okay.
you being 15th place in females and us being 15th place in co-ed have nothing to do with each other if the times
It's a
were
tie.
2.5 minutes apart.
It's a tie. It's a tie.
It's not a tie.
No, it can't be a tie. Just in the spirit of competition, we had a good time today.
But in the
You guys
of the
did well.
rankings- But in terms of the rankings,
Well, if you click on one sheet, your name's not going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
which one?
Exactly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If we go to our sheet,
the
which
co-ed
is
one.
co-ed,
Okay,
your
okay,
name's
okay.
not going to be there. We have to click to another sheet to find your names, and we're not going to be there. So technically, we're not in the same categories.
This is
Uh-huh.
fair.
But today was just in the spirit of competition. You guys
Held our
versus
own.
us.
I think
I'm
we
not
did- I
saying
think
you
we did
didn't hold
pretty
your
good,
own.
though.
No,
think we did
I
pretty
think
good.
you did
I think you
very
did pretty
well.
well.
Yes.
I mean, we were number 2 overall.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not like number one though.
Hell yeah.
Shut up.
See?
I'm gonna be super annoyed having to hold this thing the whole time like this.
So
Little
make
twinsies.
Alana hold it.
Yeah.
Make that bitch hold it.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that about?
Bring that foam roller over and set it right there on it.
Oh yeah.
This is a whole.
Give me the
The foam
sturdy.
roller.
This is
There's
a
a
whole
foam roller right over on top, right?
No, the foam roller is way
Ah.
too unsturdy. That thing is heavy.
Gotcha.
To pick up those mics. All right, so you want to talk about how we first met and why the hell he even knows us in the first place, and then ask
Yeah.
him the
We'll
questions?
start with who you met first, which is Trass.
Yes.
Then you met me. Then you met Alana.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just met Alana.
As
on
of
this trip?
24
Yes.
hours ago.
Okay.
Pretty much,
so
yeah.
how you met Trass, and I want with each meeting, I want it you. We can't say anything about the meeting. He has to talk about how he met us and first impression, and we can't say
Okay.
anything. You can't say shit.
Well, mine's like one and the same. I feel like.
Yeah. So how I
Make sure you're
met
talking to
how I
him.
met Tracy, we were on several different like Deka Fit calls.
Yeah.
So naturally when we do this,
Oh, I
it's
remember
on Zoom and it has everybody's pictures. And so I think she was getting ready to do a competition and we were getting ready to do a competition. And so I reached out to her and during the call and and the whole time like her face just looked like it was pissed off or something was going on. So I sent her a message through Instagram or something
Yeah.
like that. I said, can you at least smile? And so like she got it during the Zoom call and she started laughing. And so we kind of started talking from that point on. And then
Yo,
we
I'm
could-
good.
yeah.
He was like, "What's wrong with you?" Basically, I was like,
hey,
"Dude."
wait, let him finish.
Yeah.
And so from that point on, we, when she put on her event, she'd call me and vice versa. And we kind of share ideas and stuff. And then we just started running into each other at several of the different either Spartan races or
Yep.
Deka events.
Mhm.
So we just started crossing paths that way and just keeping in touch, going forward up into coming down here today.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your first impression of Tracy?
I don't know if I mean, she
Honest,
was nice
honest.
because like my first
Concerned.
impression was
Don't try to be don't try to be nice.
Yeah,
or
I'm
not, like-
conservative, be
like my first impression would have been like, just from I guess seeing her online would have been angry because that's why I said smile. But then she had a good comeback and personality, so I was like, well, she's not really angry. And then whenever at the Spartan and Deka events that we were always at, like we never really talked. It was just like hi, and then she was like boom, 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 like running all over the place, like cheering for people and everything. So then I was like, well, at least she's supportive of her team, and stuff. So she was always all over the place. And then we actually at the first time we hung out was when Devin and I came with you
Oh, in
and,
Jacksonville.
and
Yeah.
Barry and some other people
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
Jacksonville after a Deka
Mhm.
event. And we went and got something to eat together. So that was the first time we actually like
Oh yeah.
hung out
Totally.
and talked and stuff like that. So
Holy
after
shit, that was
that-
so long ago.
yeah. So that was probably, I guess,
That was
right
like
at
2 years ago. Maybe?
yeah, 2 or
Maybe
3 years
more?
ago,
Yeah.
something like that.
That was so long ago.
Straight.
This is like
okay, you're old. I know. I know.
old John Travolta over here,
Oh, no,
hunched over.
slunching, like.
Got to massage his back while we go.
So yeah,
So I'm like squirrel for brains, basically. I think it's pretty normal.
that's great.
Yeah, it's pretty normal. And
He
then
even pushes me
so
You
wait,
need
the
a
first time
lower,
that
you need a smaller one.
It's perfect.
so the first time that you would have met her was just this year.
Was Jersey.
So I've known
Jersey.
you for that long, and you've never met. Why?
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
You hit her.
I did not.
I don't know. Like
She
I
hides her
can't. I
gems.
can't. I can't. How can I hide Abigail? No, yeah, okay, I guess so. I hid your ass.
yeah.
No, I think it's because you just don't come to any of the Spartan events
I
except
feel
for
like
Nashville.
Abigail's just now really just making all of her appearances at these.
Because we're
these
kind of forcing her to
consistent
come.
Appearances
You're literally
at these
forcing me.
Spartans.
Well,
yes, you are.
well,
Yes,
you
we
know,
are.
you're part of the family.
We just want you there.
We just want you
We just
there.
want you there, Abigail.
Yeah.
Okay. So how we met? First impression of me.
It was at Deka Worlds in Atlantic
Better-
City.
When I drug
So-
her ass to Atlantic City, that's how they met.
He probably was like, "This bitch looks home." Oh.
Yeah.
No, like I had been following kind of from Tracy's stories and stuff like that, all that you guys had been doing. So when we got to, I think I just finished, you guys were just getting there. And you had to film or something like that. So we really didn't get to talk that much just because you guys were having to, chase the winners down and get pictures and all that stuff. So later that night when we all got together and went out and stuff, first impression would have been like, I thought you were pretty laid back and chill. So, you really you didn't drink, I don't think, that night because you were hungover from the nights before. So yeah, you were kind of just quiet and laid back, but still friendly and easy to talk to. So
Shit. I told you, Jersey brought out a different version of Abigail. I was like, she kind of belongs here, or like, you grew up in Jersey life,
Yeah.
ish.
That's usually not the first impression I receive.
Yeah, no.
So I'll take it.
But I can also see you being in your element here, that you try to be a little bit more of a hard ass than what you might truly be, like outside of that.
Facts.
So,
Dude,
but I
am
could see that.
therapy?
That's just my observation. You asked me for it.
You did ask him for it.
My observation.
Yeah, you asked him for it.
Yeah.
Shit.
Okay.
And then, so Alana literally just met like yesterday.
All I'm saying is pickleball game.
Yes, that's true.
That's it.
Was that the first time you well, yeah.
At the gym.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Well, you would have
I've
known her
heard
from
of
my
you for a
Instagram and
while.
stuff.
But that's my impression of you.
Is
Who you
pickleball?
are. Well, no, just I've known who you are through Tracy.
Yeah.
And then
Oh.
followed you on Instagram a while
Dude,
ago.
I didn't fucking. Tracy walked in with you at the gym yesterday. Was that yesterday? God,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It feels like forever. Yesterday, and I was like,
Because he's got the beard.
I know. Well, you got the tan, you got the beard, and I was just like,
And he's lean.
and you look leaner than you were in November.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there and I was just like,
Hey.
oh my god, it's Jared.
I know. I know. When you walked out of the airport when I went and picked you up, and he had like a hat on
Tracy
and
would've
his
just
beard,
drove- I
I was
would've
just,
just
and I
drove
can't
past that
see.
dude.
Well, I can't see for shit anyway. And I was like, I'm in a Jeep, and he came walking out, and I was like, I had to like make sure it was him at first because I didn't want to be like, welcome to Tallahassee to just like some random stranger. But I like it.
Thank you.
I think it suits
No,
you.
it's a good look. I
Yeah,
just was
I think it
seriously
suits
like,
him.
I was like, oh, that's Jared.
It's the disguise for right now.
So welcome to Tallahassee.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
here. How are you feeling so far being here? Is it as bad as we say?
No. I'm very laid back and easy going. So like,
Yeah, you are.
I mean, I just roll with the flow.
Well, you gotta be
so,
close to this microphone.
so whatever yesterday was fun. First time I ever played pickleball. So,
Dude, we got our asses wept by this random man named Norman.
Norm.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we were just playing pickleball yesterday, Tom Brown Park, hanging out. And the courts were all full when we got there, but we like snagged one. And then everybody just kind of disappeared around like 8. And then casually just like 2 single like older men rolled in and just started like coaching us through this whole game.
Yeah.
So like at one point, like Rich and I were on a team, and then Tracy and I were on a team. And then I never played on a team with Jared, but essentially these older men, I think they like pitied me or whoever I was on the team with. And so they would just be like kind of whispering at me or like coaching me like, this is how you play. Oh, this is a score. Because I mean, like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So eventually with this guy that's like Mr. Miyagi vibes for pickleball was just like
hardcore.
giving us
Norm.
the freaking run down coaching people.
Yes.
And he
Dude,
whipped some tail.
Jared looked at me and he's like, we're fucked. Because Alana left and we were like, do you want to play? And I kind of like said it jokingly. And then he was like, all right, give me the paddle. And we both looked at each other and we were like, dude, we're about to get our asses
Yeah, he-
wept by this guy.
And we did.
We did. He took, as soon as he took everything out of his pockets and he went, you got to be as light as you can be. And he took everything out of his pockets, like his keys and his phone
Oh
or
my
whatever.
God,
And we were
fly.
like,
He had tactical boots on too. So let's not forget that.
he
That's
did.
how you know it's serious.
He did. We were just like, oh shit. But that was a ton of fun. We played until like 9 o'clock.
Yep.
We played really fucking late.
Good times.
Okay, so I feel like we need to go a little bit into you are
And
a
his
coach,
training.
you're an athlete.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You also host events,
Mm-hmm.
same events that you compete in.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about like what you do job wise, what you do sport wise, and then how you balance the two. It's hard.
Yes.
It's hard to be a coach and an athlete.
We're just talking
Yes.
about that.
Well, I guess from a standpoint of what I do in regards to training, my passion lies within athletes. So in Knoxville, I've gotten the privilege to work with several hundred athletes per week. So we are the strength coach of a university, a local university there. So we have 14 of their sports that oversee their whole strength and conditioning program. We have a couple schools where actually this one school that just contacted me, we're going to be going in there and working with their curriculum just to their students to develop a training program, but also working with their athletes. And then overseeing our training and program for our trainers. We focus a lot on speed, agility, and quickness. And I think there's a lot of different ways to teach that. And not saying that our ways are the best ways, but I think that we have a solid foundation of helping the athletes understand like body positioning, balancing, and then being able to transfer that from their training over to their sport. So I get to work with our trainers in helping them understand that transitional phase and what it looks like, and then help them become a little bit better within their training. I guess for me, I've been blessed, with because I don't see myself as like a guy that has a lot of expertise or anything like that. I think I have a great connection with people. And when
Talk down on yourself like that.
well, it's being kind of trying to be humble a little bit. But we,
It's hard being John Travolta.
you know,
It's hard. It's hard being John
um,
Travolta these days.
ever since, the movie Grease, I have really try to transition my ways. But we as a company, we spoke at several of the Final Fours. So basically at every basketball Final Four, they would have a coaches convention. And so they would do 2 days of coaches conventions to where they would do these on-court demonstrations where coaches from all over the country would come, and we'd have like 500 coaches lined up around the court. And my boss would go out and teach these drills, and I would be the one that actually went through the drills. So that's how a lot of the collegiate coaches and professional coaches got to know me, because of my boss's connection with them. But then they saw me actually performing the drills. So people began to have trust in me. So there for a while, I was traveling to probably 30 different universities a year. I was signed by Nike for 5 years, where I traveled all around performing different testing protocol. This is back when Spark came out. They started this whole division with Spark. And I traveled around to all these different camps, testing kids with their ACLs through a software, helping them understand, more about body position and those things. But was blessed enough to work with almost, I'd say 50, 60 different universities and colleges throughout the U.S. That also led me into being able to go to Poland. I went over there for 4 years and worked with a professional basketball team, Asseco Procom. So we had a trainer stationed there, but I would fly back and forth and just help them, like revamp their programs, just kind of see where the athletes were at, like what type of testing things we needed to do to keep them advancing. And this team actually went from being one of the last place teams in their league to actually winning the league within 3 years. Shit. They actually did really, really well. So that's kind of like my journey. I don't travel as much as I used to. I still have a few clients, UCLA and some other schools that I'll go in and I'll consult with, and still develop their speed programs and help coaches. But I feel like it's just, a collaboration when I go in with these coaches, because a lot of these places I go, they're already so smart and they already have a good foundation. So it's just like, what little piece of the puzzle can I add, to help them, get a little bit better. So that's kind of my training world, as far as what I oversee, what I do. As far as a competition, Spartan was the first thing actually a Warrior Dash was the first thing that came to me. In 2012, I decided I was 240 pounds. So a little bit heavier.
Jack 240 or not so Jack 240?
I
He's tall to
was
tell. You might not
I,
be able to tell, but
I was a well hidden 240. So I could lift a lot of weight, but I don't want to say there was a lot of definition, but bulk.
yeah.
And
He's a big
so
boy.
yes, and but I played basketball in college, so I always had that competitive edge of wanting to do something, but like I got tired of just playing in like the local basketball leagues and flag football and stuff like that. So I found a Warrior Dash and invited, just like how you guys have the Flocker group here. We took like 17 people, went to a Warrior Dash somewhere there in Tennessee, and I got last place. So so it was an experience of like going out and I had, and this is not a sexist comment at all, but a buddy I was with, we were running together, and he's like, all right, our only goal is to not let any females pass us. And I was like, okay, like why? And within the first 500 yards, a bunch of them went by us. I was like, well, we already failed that, so it's like, so we already lost that one. But we finished that, and we got back in the car, and these guys rode my ass the whole way home, talking about like, you would have got 45th in your age group if you were a female, just like all this type of stuff, just hammering me the whole way home. And I was just like, keep feeding me. This is
Right.
just
Right.
fueling me. And so like right then I changed everything, my diet, the way I trained, everything. And now I went from 240 to 195. And then the next race we went to was Virginia Spartan race, I think it was. And
What are you now? Just weight wise, so I can. Picture.
I'm between 195 and 200. I
Okay, so about
fluctuate.
the physique you're at.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think now I have a little bit more muscle tone than at that time, because I was just worried on cutting, so I was just weight loss.
Yeah.
So now it's one of those things I've within the training program I do now, I'm trying to put on a little bit more. But so I did that, and then from then on it was just like, okay, this is my thing. So Spartan races all the way up until Deka came into play. That was my go-to. Then Deka came on. I started messing around with that. We became an affiliate. So at our facility, getting people involved in it, getting them excited about it, and going to several different competitions with that. And then leading us up into, venturing into Hyrox. I did Hyrox. So Deka actually last year was able to compete at Worlds and won that, and then turned around and competed for Hyrox and qualified for the World Championships there. So flew to England earlier this year and competed.
Hyrox teams, right?
Hyrox teams, yeah. I'm not brave enough to do the individuals yet. So the
Hyrox, for anyone that doesn't know what it is, you just need to know it fucking sucks.
It's Deka on
it's
steroids.
Yeah.
It's just really, really, really rough.
Yeah.
And
sorry to interrupt you real quick, but you were already doing the college business stuff when you were not yet into Spartans or those races.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Okay, so you business and then assimilated into like, I want to go back to doing the athlete stuff. I got really into Spartan Deka, lost the weight, that kind of thing.
I think I've always trained the athletes. So as far as a business side of things, that's always been my focus.
But for yourself.
But for myself, it was just, I just got tired of like, I guess, I tell a lot of people, if you feel good, then basically how to fuel your body and all that. And when you feel bad, like that you're not doing something right. So I tell my clients all the time, like if you've never felt good, you're not going to know what that feeling truly is. So, like for me, when I was heavier, I was in the stage of we would go out all the time, Friday and Saturday we'd be out, partying or doing whatever. And then I would go and play some sporting event on Sunday, and then Monday we'd be right back into it. So those 2 days was tearing my body down so much that I could never see the actual gains that I was wanting to from training.
Right.
So I don't want to ever say that business and my competition coincide each other, but they do now because now that there's Deka, their Hyrox, people are wanting to do that training.
Right.
And
you represent that. You represent it.
Yeah,
Yes.
he represents that community hard.
Yep. And that's my overall goal. My overall goal is I know I'm not going to have a lot of more years of competing, but I want to get into more of the coaching side of it and being able to help people. And I don't need to really get into the coaching side from taking elite athletes because they're already elite. I want to help the individuals that are on the journey, just like I was, trying to figure out what steps do I need to take to get to where I need to go. And I think one of the most humbling things it was for me to do is to ask for help for myself. And I actually have a coach that designs my workouts, because Tracy and I was talking about this yesterday. When you're tired, all those things are going on. I would design my workouts off of a feeling.
Yeah.
So if I was tired that day, I'd be like, I don't feel like doing that. And I would just go and do what my body felt like. But if somebody else is programming for you, which hence why a lot of people have trainers, this is what's written. And regardless of your feelings, this is what you got to do today. And if you have that type of dedication and commitment, you're going to go knock that out.
Or you even the opposite direction, where you feel like, I got to bust out this really hard workout, and the coach can look at you and be like, you had XYZ happen. These are your metrics that I've been looking at. We're taking it down this week. You know, I think it's just hard to be objective with yourself.
Yeah,
and
totally.
So coaches definitely need coaches. How is balancing being an athlete and running a business? How has that been for you?
Hard as hell.
Yeah.
That it's almost sometimes damn near impossible.
Yeah.
Is it the nutrition? Is it like, do you think getting a coach helped you? Is it just the fact that it's like, I got to have energy for my workouts and running a business? Is it?
It's time.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not enough of it. Because like for us in Knoxville, we have 22 trainers oversee. In Chattanooga, there's 6. Then we have probably another 20 employees that are either, where they'll come in and just do a few classes for us, or they'll run a desk shift. But if someone's sick, someone's out, doesn't matter the time of the day. And we start at 5 a.m., I'm the first person they call, myself or one of our other guys. 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m., you may be getting phone calls, waking you up like, hey, this happened or that happened, and you need to get, coverage for it or whatever. And then, as being a leader within the training world, like right now, I took on a team that I'm training at 7 p.m. at night. So like I'm starting that day usually at 6 a.m. and I'm going all the way through till 8 p.m. and I'm getting home at, 8:30. Well, time you eat, it's like, yes, I know I'm old, but at the same time, like I feel like so like removed from what's going on in the world because I eat, sleep, train, and repeat.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my life. And then, so when I go and do competitions like this today, I feel that as a vacation because a lot of my connections are with other people outside of Knoxville that I've, like you guys, I've grown relationships with. So I travel to get that, that connection to where, okay, today we basically trained, we did a competition. And then we've had some downtime to just hang out and chill, and do a podcast. So, but a lot of it is just my time, and there's not enough of it. And I'm having to, our coach 4 days a week designs 2 days a week workouts, or two a days, 4 days a week. And so and a lot of times I find myself having to double up in that one workout to get to, and I mean, it's almost a 2-hour workout, so it's like, but I also am smart enough to know how my body feels, to where do I cut back, where do I add in those things. And then I communicate that and say, hey, I wasn't able to do this, and this is what I substituted because I was feeling this way. And most of the time we're right on, par with each other. And he's always like, that was smart, good choice there.
If it's between business or athlete shit, what are you choosing priority wise? When
you say athlete shit, are you talking about
you,
personally,
athlete shit,
business?
That's what I thought.
It's got to be business, because this this athlete stuff
It's
is
for
personal.
business.
I mean, eventually, I hope it
Well, yeah.
is. I hope it is for business. I think I've been able to bring a good representation of our company to this industry.
For sure.
You know, and I think that, but at the end of the day, that's not making me any money. You know,
Right.
so like these athletes, me running my business, me helping a trainer, me not doing my workout to help a trainer is going to further me along than getting that workout. So there are times I have to make those sacrifices and not do that workout to be able to help someone within our business, because in the long run, that's going to, you know, help me out further financially
Right.
than anything else.
Right.
What's been, do you think, some of the biggest factors in helping you find that balance? I hate the word balance because there's no balance.
There's
in
not a
this kind of shit,
balance.
But what do you think has been the best factors to help you mitigate
Yeah.
overdoing, over stressors during the chaos?
I hate failure. So
Okay.
I think for me, if you think about everything I do, one of my slogans I tell every athlete I step up in front of: the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So my thought process behind that is, um, you know, if you come out as an athlete and you warm up lazy as shit, that's going to carry over to your workout. You know, you need to come in with the mindset and the purpose that the minute I step in here, that I've got a job to get done, and this is what I'm going to put forth. You know, so it's the same thing for me within my business or within the company, is that, you know, I'm not going to let our trainers fail. So basically, whatever I got to do on my end, and believe me, right now there's some things going on to where I'm beating my head against the wall on trying to figure out how can I be a better coach to them to get out of them what I need them to do. So, and a lot of my tactics and ways haven't been working. So what do? I ask other people. I ask for help. Like, what would you do? What could you do? And then and they don't know that I'm asking for the help, but like, you know, for me, I'm not going to give up trying just so that they can see the success.
Right.
And so I don't think, you know, I guess overall for me, it's just I don't want to see anything that has my name on it or that I'm a part of look at or be felt like, oh, that was a failure.
Yeah,
Are we going to
sure.
fail? 100%. And I'm not a perfectionist by any means,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just a hard ass worker. So that's my mentality when I go in to compete. Like a lot of times I'll beat other people just because my mentality of like, don't quit.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and I think that's the same thing that carries over to work, you know, for me. And is there many times I want to quit? Hell yeah. I mean, you know, there's time I'm just like, I want to throw my hands up and just say fuck it and walk off. But you know, I know there's times that you can't do that, and you've got to continually give to be able to get, you know,
Yeah.
and
Hell
So
yeah.
for
as a
you,
business.
So for
Yeah.
you, it's kind of understanding not just like, okay, there is no balance. I just have to work hard, but also extending help or extending the asking for help when
Yep.
you need, when you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna take advice here. I'm gonna take pieces from this person. This person is giving me something valuable. I need to ask somebody about this thing here. I
Yep.
need to.
Yeah.
I need their time here.
And I think that's all part of in anything that you do, growing pains. You know, I always heard people like, oh, we're going through some growing pains here or whatever it is. Like I think that plays over into your business, relationships, or anything, you know,
Everything is
like
growing pains.
yeah. So, you know, as you get into a company, and when I first came into this company, we were very small. So we had the owner, myself, a few other trainers, but we only had one facility. So it was easy to manage and run everything. Now we're up to where we're in like 9 different places. You know, our growing capacity is here. So you're not hands on with everything because there's so much going on elsewhere.
You can't be.
You can't be. So, you know, it's part of, because you've grown here, you know, you've got to learn how to adapt to that, you know, situation to be able to still give a good product. And, you know, like you hear companies all the time, franchising is one of the hardest things. We haven't franchised, But the reason is because you lose value in what you're trying to give other people. Other than Chick-fil-A, I think they've got it down. Chick-fil-A's got a good service all the way around. But like, and that's what we're experiencing. We've grown, we've gotten a lot bigger, we have a lot more channels within our company. So, that produces new challenges every single day.
You think like so I know we were talking about this yesterday, but you know how you're having like a hard time at your other facility? Do you think it's because it's not you being there, or do you think it's because you're having to like divide yourself to be able to teach them what to do? Like, do you get frustrated that you just wish you'd be like, oh, fuck it, I wish I was just the one that was there doing the work?
The prideful me says yes.
Yeah.
That if I was there 100%, this thing would be turned around. But as I've sat back and thought about that, it's not so much that I'm any better than any one of our other trainers. And I tell that all the time. I was like, I am not any more knowledgeable or any more better than any of you guys here. I have more experience.
Mm-hmm.
And with that experience, I know what to do before a situation occurs, or I can see something happening way before in advance of saying, hey, if we don't take care of this now, this is what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So it's not that I'm any smarter. I just had a lot more experience in different situations. So if I was in any capacity there, hands-on, yes, I feel like it would be a total different situation because I would be able to be the support system that they need there for the growth that we're wanting.
Right.
But then we would suffer elsewhere and stuff. So you've got to find how can you guide and lead from a distance,
right?
Without physically being there. And that's a lot harder.
That kind of leads
really hard.
me to a question I wanted to ask you, which is, do you enjoy the business part of your business more or the coaching part of your business more?
50-50.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd have to say 50-50 because there's nothing more exciting than landing a big deal, like a big contract or something like that. Like, and I tell my trainers all the time, everything you see me do, there's a purpose behind what I do because I see the bigger picture behind what it is that I'm doing. So with that being said, like I will train someone just because I know they're going to be the owner of a team. They're going to be a director of a club. And I get them to know me because I feel like I'm a great representation of who we are as a company, and they gain trust in me. So then when it comes to the time to say, hey, we'd like to take over your team, we want to train your team, we want to do this, they have confidence in that we're going to take care of them and do the right thing. So I've taken a lot of training sessions that probably didn't fit within my schedule, but it's landed us. There's a new soccer team in Knoxville, One Knox. We're training them, the school that I just landed, I helped the headmaster guy. I trained his son. He was 5 years old, like I would never take a 5-year-old and train regularly, but I was like, there's a bigger purpose behind that. And not to say I'm above training a 5-year-old.
No, yeah.
Yeah. But at that age, our trainers can train a 5-year-old, and stuff. So, it's, I think for me, it's 50-50 because there's just sometimes you get a few athletes. I have this one athlete, it's a female that plays soccer in Chattanooga for UTC, that it doesn't matter what I tell her to do. She has 100% faith in me and everything that I say do, that if I literally said, you know what, if you run as hard as you can right into that wall, you'll get a 48 on your beep test, she's going to take off sprinting, and it's like, you don't find a lot of athletes like that today, especially today's athletes, today's mentality, today's like work ethic it's totally different. So, when you get someone like that, you want to dedicate your time to that person simply because it's becoming more rare.
Yeah.
Especially with our society today a little bit.
Plus, I feel like you just have a lot of fun with the teams that you train. Like, you're always posting about the people that you train on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And I just think that is like I don't know, just it fills your cup in a different way that business does.
I do.
Like I see you posting about it and I see you talking about it and you can just tell like you genuinely love what you do. And I don't know if that's because you were an athlete before and you had to work your ass off for it. Like, you know, you didn't touch on that at all, but like you've been an athlete your whole life, almost.
Yeah.
I would say almost like a collegiate athlete, right?
Yep.
But maybe that's just like a different way of filling your cup than business is. You know, I could see that.
Yeah. I just hope to, you know, in a lot of the things that I do training, I know within, you know, like teams, they'll come in and they'll only train 3 or 4 weeks. Well, think about it. How much are you going to physically change a team in 3 to 4
Right,
weeks?
yeah.
Not a lot. But my goal is to hopefully change them mentally to where when they get in a tough or a tough situation, they know that
They think
they're going to push through.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the girls team I just posted about this past Friday, they are 46-0. So they've won back-to-back state champions and they were ranked number 1 in the nation last year. So they now have teams coming from New York, Texas, all over the place to come play them simply because they want to up their rankings, you know, and last year, or is last year or the year before, I always try to make it to the state championship game for them. And Devin, the guy that works with me, we went to the game and they were down going into halftime. And one of the girls stood up and said, "You think Jared drove all the way down here to see us play like this?" And like, I didn't know that was said or anything. And they came out that second half and like they destroyed that team. Like they were
awesome.
Their speed on the ball. They were knocking people off the ball. I was just like, I was sitting and telling Devin, I was like, I don't know what was said, but I was like, something had to be said to change their mentality that second half. And then later on at the banquet, they actually got me a ring and all that stuff.
That's really, really powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah, it made like a serious impact.
They told me this is what was said, and
Yeah.
I was humbled that like, wow, half the speeches and stuff that I give, you know, they love, because our trainers always see me and they're like, I can't wait to hear what he said, because I always give speeches. You know, I just like talk about their mental aspect and, you know, like them giving in to the burn and the hurt and the pain and all that type of stuff. And, you know, so I just try to change their aspects or their thought process mentally when we go and we train. So
yeah. Why are the contracts only 4 to 6 weeks?
that's high school.
It's just
I mean, you got to think that's high school. That's when the coaches get them. And then it's a short season, preseason. Now we're playing. And then they become like so like engulfed.
High school's insane hard.
Yep.
Like very hard training clients. I like my kids, especially. I mean, it's so funny. I'm like, I chose the fucking worst sport, or I guess they chose me.
Baseball?
Because they're
year-round.
all fucking year.
Yeah.
There is legitimately no off season for baseball or softball. I mean, they'll have a 2-week break, and their parents and them, they're like, "Oh, I got a long break coming up," and I'm like, "Yeah, all right. How long?" They're like, "I got 2 weeks."
A week and a half.
No, literally, and because it's like travel ball, fall ball, spring ball. Travel spring ball.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Like, there's no.
Well, especially down here in
camps.
Florida because it's really all year round.
Yeah, camps.
Like up by us, it's not.
It's
Soccer's
crazy.
the same way.
Yeah, soccer's crazy.
Yep.
I have a girl. She's playing D1 in college, and she just actually left this week for college. I'm like super pumped for her. But she I mean, it's like all
When you like
fucking
move
year
my
long.
fucking hips to this side. So
But
I
wanted
catch
to
a hard cramp.
I wanted to kind of shift gears. I wanted you to tell us about one of your worst Deka experiences.
All right, I lied. I'm
Deka?
going this direction.
Yes, because I know Hyrox, you probably have a bad one.
Yes.
But
A bad
but-
experience.
Yeah, with the deck at the Hyrox Worlds, because you were like gassed out and just
Yes.
like lost
Oh
everything.
yeah.
But I want to hear about one of your absolute worst Deka experiences
I
and why. What happened?
I don't think that I've had too many bad Deka experiences, because they were all like new experiences to me. So like when I first got into it, I had no expectations other than this is totally different than what I'm used to doing. But I knew it was within my wheelhouse of like, okay, I could be good at this because of how I normally train and then how my body can adapt to that. I think the hardest one would probably have been my first like Deka mile because it was in Jacksonville. It was the first one they held. It was outside. We ran in gravel. And then it was like they had no like start time. It was just you stood in line until it got to your turn.
I heard it was really
Then you
poorly
would
run.
go. And then it was like if you stepped out of line to go pee or anything like that, you lost your spot. So
That's kinda how it was
and you
whenever-
just stood in the sun waiting your turn. And I mean, I was there for like an hour just standing waiting, and then I had to talk to some guy and be like, hey, can you hold my spot if I run to the restroom? So you had to do things like that. And then you get out there and it was hot. It was just,
It was outside. The
Yeah.
whole first second they held in Jacksonville was all outside. And now they're in convention centers.
Yeah.
Yep.
But when he did it, it was all outside.
Yeah. So that was a hot, crazy experience, like because it's the running and everything. Now it was just a mile. That was before they started doing the fits.
Well, the mile still sucks. So
This
so it was
wasn't an
just
affiliate. This was an actual like.
no,
Deka
this was the
run?
deck.
it was
like
at
the
a
first-
Spartan race.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Yeah. So on Friday evening they did the Deka event.
Okay.
Saturday morning they did the Spartan, and that
Wow.
was like just as they were beginning after COVID
So,
opening
Wow.
up, because I remember them placing us like, also it was a lot about spacing because COVID, they couldn't let us all just go at
Yeah.
once. So they had like every other lane going so
oh
that
my god, I forgot it was.
yeah,
that
that
Yeah.
sounds like a
time.
nightmare.
yeah, so it was all over the place when we
Logistical
when we were
nightmare.
doing that. So as far as Deka, that would probably been my worst experience.
What happened at Hyrox?
I died. So I think
Do you think it was worse because it was Hyrox World Championships? So you anticipated a better performance?
I did
Or you put pressure on yourself to have a better performance?
both.
Yeah.
Going into that event, like
I died.
it was like we'd been training really hard, and during our trial runs we were having some good times, so I felt pretty confident. But during that time span before I flew over there to England, it was basically like I hit kind of a wall to where I just was feeling fatigue. My running times were dropping, all of that. So I was having to back off of our training load, and then I was traveling a lot. Like I was going back and forth to Chattanooga. I was flying out to California. I was just disruptive in like my sleep and everything. And I'm not saying that was the main cause by any reason, but those are just factors I feel like that play into it. Then when we fly over to England, they lose my luggage. They messed. The flight was delayed, so they had to reroute me. So I was supposed to go to I forgot, from Atlanta into Orlando, then straight into Manchester, but then they had to reroute me to Dublin. And
God.
then so like I already had my seat selected to where, I'm more in an exit row. I've got a little bit more room. Well, once all that got canceled,
They moved your seat.
they moved me.
Oh my
I'm
God.
against a window with two older people
Not sleeping
that
for shit, uncomfortable. as
they
hell.
don't have a bladder, so they don't get up and pee or move.
Oh,
So you're sitting there for 9 hours stuck, and
Oh my
and
god, I'd be so pissed.
the one time I asked the lady to get up, she spills her wine. So then I feel bad because I made her get up. She spilled all over her husband, and I'm like, oh, this is a catastrophe. So, so then I get there, they lose my luggage. So,
of course.
I'm living out of, just what little bit of stuff I happen to bring. I did pack my race shoes in my backpack and with some running gear, but I didn't have like all my other stuff. So then it was delivered Saturday morning right before we had to go compete. So
Oh my
it was
God.
delivered that day. So it did
That's
come, but
stressful.
I don't know, just being over there, like just
You went
everything
into it
was
not
different.
feeling good.
Yeah.
No, I came out the gate strong. And that was the thing. Like,
I would say I'm more psychologically.
yeah, I
adapted.
thought we were going to do well. I felt pretty good,
Okay.
but just when we hit that fifth obstacle, or I call it an obstacle, but the fifth workout zone, which was the row, is 1,000 meters.
Ooh.
You know,
so many meters.
we hit that, and it just I don't know what it was. We went out on the run. My partner started just slowly creeping in front of me, and he started waiting on me. I was like, no, run.
Mhm.
So hopefully it paced me, and he got almost half a lap in front of me.
Wow.
And so it's to the point I saw him, I turned a corner and he's always
Oh.
on the other side. And I was like, shit, man. I was like, I don't think I can catch him. And I tried, you know, and I just didn't have it. You know, so I after we went through all the zones, and I could just feel myself just like, it's not, I don't have that spunk. I don't have that drive. You know, I just felt defeated and tired and stuff. And, you know, so it messed with my mind for a long time. It is probably about a good month afterwards. I was just like debating on continuing to compete and all that type of stuff. And then I had to realize, like, why are you even doing this?
Mhm.
It's not like you make money or anything. And then not everybody qualified. So, you know, you had an accomplishment there. I think there was 170 Americans that were there. So, you know, so when I went back and reevaluated everything and saw the experience and what I was able to go do, I was able to pick up a sponsor that paid for my flight, my hotels. So, you know, I had some different companies like giving me money to go and stuff like that. So I was like, they were proud of me
Hell
just
yeah.
by making it. So I was like, change your thought process, be proud of the accomplishment you did,
Yep.
go back to work,
And the
and then
experience, yep.
see what can happen next year, you
Yeah,
know?
hell yeah.
And so that's what I kind of reprogrammed my thought process, and then, you know, came back and went back to work, you know, so
That's awesome.
back into the same training regimen as I've always been.
That's awesome.
What's the most annoying thing about each one of us that
The
you've
most
experienced
annoying.
thus
You know
far?
what?
He's
like,
been here for like a whole day, and I feel
Yeah,
like
that's
it's been
the thing, is
chaos.
like-
I'll find something. Oh, I know you found something.
no, honestly, like,
These people are so full of shit. There.
no,
Bro, we're
it's
just
it's
trying to
not.
pull shit just to,
Like,
just
here's
to
the
mess
thing,
with
like,
people.
if I thought there was something that was super annoying or something like that, I would tell you. I mean, why do I got to hide? I mean, what is it gonna, you gonna get mad at me?
That's why we're
I mean,
friends.
you know, so at the end of the day, it's basically like,
Alana,
I
why is your
think,
face so annoying? You know.
yeah, I think I'm so laid back that I don't think about those
You
things of
are.
like, God, they're annoying.
He's so
you
laid
know?
back too, because seriously, all day yesterday, like, well, first of all, my head's not on straight anyway. But yesterday, I was like using my GPS. I didn't know where the fuck I was at. I was like getting lost. Like, I just felt like I was utter chaos yesterday more than I normally was. And I was like, he's been here for 2 fucking hours, and he's gonna be like, send me the fuck home. And he was just like, okay, like, just in my car, let me whip my Jeep around, fucking GPS it all over the place. You don't care.
I do think it's really funny. I was going to. He's like talking. He's like, I've been Poland. I've done all these facilities in these colleges or whatever. And I'm like, and now you're sitting on the fucking floor in Tallahassee with 3 girls podcasting.
But
right.
I'm so happy. he's
See
here,
how much
though.
I've grown?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I've grown
Humbling
over the years.
What is okay? Then what is thus far your favorite thing about each one of us?
Let's see. I guess my favorite thing would just be for Tracy, her energy. She always
I know.
has. Well, you got to also understand that, like, I've not hung around you
No, yeah, for
guys
sure.
like
For sure.
a lot.
No,
Like,
us, yeah.
Like, I can go back and say in Atlantic City, we had a blast just
That shit was
because,
so fun.
yeah, we
That
were
shit was
all
so
we were all
much
just
fun.
we just cut
Yo,
loose and had a
you were
great
like,
time.
How do you hear what she says? You're translating.
Oh my
for
god,
this bitch.
we talked about that on the podcast. Not to like deviate from
Yes.
the conversation, but we talked about that. Jared is the one who 17 episodes ago looked at Abigail and was like, "How the fuck do you know what she's saying?" And Abigail was like, "I just talk trash."
Yeah.
And she does. She really does.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you were sitting there and Tracy's like, and Jared was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, she said, go get the cheesecake in the fridge.
Yeah.
And you were like,
"What?"
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, sorry.
Atlantic City was so much fun.
Back to your favorite things. Tracy's energy.
Yeah. So,
Thanks.
yeah. One thing, well, I think all three of you have drive. You know, I look at that and can definitely, you know, see that, especially from the two of you being a little bit younger, but still being very driven with goals of where you want to go and what you want to achieve. You know, so I definitely can see that. And like I said, as far as like, I like everybody's personality, you know, because everybody is like fun. You guys banter back and forth, going at each other. But that's what I do with like my best friend, you know, at home. Like I talk so much shit to him that I feel like he's gonna hate me. But that's our relationships. That's how we get along. That's how we like each other. So that's why earlier when y'all were going back and forth with each other and y'all were like, oh, he's gonna think this. I'm like, no, I do the same thing. It's just with my friends. You know, so I can tell that there's a tight connection. There's, you know, a friendship here. And I think sometimes true friendships are hard to find, you know, to where somebody you can hang around and be around every single day, do trips with and all of that, and still enjoy their companionship. So that speaks for all three of you in regards to who you are as a person and what you guys mean to each other.
Oh,
So,
well, thank you.
you're welcome.
We can end it there. That was beautiful.
That was so beautiful. No, but I'm seriously so happy you're here. For a really long time, we were trying to like go back and forth and be like, well, we should visit. And
How
like
did we
my life's
convince
falling
him?
apart, and she doesn't want to travel unless I fucking drag her. And finally, I feel like you were just like, fuck it, I'm coming. And I was like, thank God, because
I would love to go to Knoxville.
I would love to too.
I would love to just actually spend a week at your facility and kind of shadow and help
Yeah.
out and stuff. To be honest with you,
We've talked about that before. Like, I would love to see like how you train.
because I will be starting a potential program, youth athlete program, youth team, college.
Yep.
And so being able to see how a successful one is run is very, very helpful.
Yeah.
Just because it's easy to be a good coach to a few, 20 kids here and there throughout the week. But when you've got like 200 kids plus teams plus other trainers underneath you plus it's an entirely different situation.
Communication, that's key. And the hard thing is, as you begin to hire from a management position, a lot of the people underneath of you do not want to communicate. So you're going to be the key communicator just because of it's your business you care more. Exactly. So they're just coming in and doing a job. So, you got to think they're going to come in, they're going to do what's asked of them, and they're going to go on. They're not going to care. Sometimes, hopefully they have enough pride that they're going to care about the product that they're delivering. But sometimes they just come in and, a lot of people carry their life with them, so you got to think about that as like, you're giving to other people. That's the nature of the business. So sometimes you have to tuck away your feelings to be able to give, because that's what the business is. And then as soon as you leave, pick up your problems and go deal with them, but don't bring them in on the people that you're there to train, because they're not there for those things. So, like when I'm dealing with trainers and stuff like that, I've become a lot better at reading them as a person to be able to know what type of session they're going to give. And if I feel like, okay, they're not with it today, then you're not going to go step in front of 30 kids,
right?
And I had a trainer that was at the university, and when I had year-end meetings with the coaches, I had one that kept telling me like, hey, this trainer, they would come in and they were on their phone the entire time. And that's probably one of the most embarrassing things as a director, to hear that's what's happening outside of your, you being able to see it. So, when I pulled that person in and had a conversation with them, they were dealing with problems. And I was like, you got to park that at the door. You're in with 30 athletes at a college that we're subcontracted in to train.
God,
and
really
you're dealing with your problems. Whoever it is, say, give me 45 minutes and I'll be back, or whatever your time frame is, or let me know that day, hey, I've got a lot going on. I need I need somebody to step in or whatever I said.
Yep.
So I think that's the hardest thing as far as it goes, like, because it's easy to program. It's not easy, but you can program, you can design, you can lay that out, but you got to have the right person
It's hard to lead.
to deliver what it is that you want
That's what it is,
delivered
leading.
every session.
Yeah.
And you're going to see as you grow that the value that you give is not going to be the value that some other ones give. And that's where, like I said, I train our trainers. I'm trying to pour into them more so that they give more to whoever they're working with.
Right. That's cool. Down.
Yep.
Well,
All
we have to go because we're going to the bar soon and it's approximately 6:10. But I'm super excited for you to be here. And I do want to say, I feel like you are a type of person that like you enjoy serving other people, and I very much appreciate any of the help that you have given me and like Abigail, because I know she's talked to you about like some future stuff, and I'm sure she will in the future. But I very much appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy that you're here.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a shit ton of fun.
A random addition to this episode, but I think, I don't know, podcasts are cool just because you get a minute to like sit down and just like listen to people, and like even just being like a young newbie trainer, because I don't know, I'm about to start helping like coaching for OCR, so it's just like really cool hearing from someone who has like so much experience with all of it. Just kind of take a pause and listen for a minute. So that was cool. Thanks for
And you're allowed to like not be humble every once in a while and say that you're a fucking badass, by the way.
Oh, well.
Because you are.
Thank you. I won't say it. I'll say thank you to it.
We'll say it for you.
It's like,
He's
all
a
I'm
badass.
gonna say is I'm John fucking Travolta.
Yeah.
John Travolta tonight.
Yeah.
Peace
right.
out, everybody. Bar Talk people. We will see you motherfuckers next week.
Bye.
Hello?